We need to provide wider variety chances for students coming from rural, urban, male, female. The university, in Sri Lanka particularly, students like cream of the cream. They are the best in the country, and they represent a cross section of the developed and very well focused schools and the urban area as well as the rural areas. And some are doing professional sports, some are still yet to come into professional level. So I think the number of games we are supposed to increase, because we have to provide wider variety of all these students.
Well, for our viewers, they're probably expecting the expected sports. So we're talking about rugby, netball, cricket. Sir, Professor, have you noticed a difference when it comes to the attendance of these sports, or is it still that they are the biggest watched, the most athletes participating in, or do you see a sport that now has suddenly caught your attention because now people are actually into it now? Because cricket, we know it's a passion of the country. Rugby is second, and then you have netball when it comes to the ladies. So, is there a sport now that you feel is suddenly capturing the attention of this generation of the university students?
I think in case of Sri Lanka, the cricket is one of the highest watching event, and apart from that, of course, even national players they have been producing in University of Colombo. But more than that, I think some events like netball, and as you explained, that all the popular games are there. But recent past, we have been seen that lots of women coming to sports, and the equally important for all the sports events they are participating. In fact, the University of Colombo, some faculties, it varies with the faculties as well. For example, Faculty of Arts about 80%, 70 to 80% female, and even management now 60% female.
And then you go to engineering.
So, and lot of people participate now, but popular sports are the always people like.
Because if you for our viewers and listeners of Yes 101, it's been quite noticeable the sudden focus now on basketball, which before it used to be more of a footnote when it comes to sports bulletin. Now it's getting into center court, as they may say. So, sir, Professor, do you also see that more of the, I don't know if it's the right way to describe it, more of the American games now are slowly coming into the full, like, say, and not unlike the usual cricket that we see? Because I don't know, I just have this sudden feel that people now are watching basketball. People now are watching like more of American sports now.
Sure. The watching basketballs as well as sometimes they actually, because of Sri Lanka, still they have been conventionally watching the cricket and others. Within the world sports and of course the local context, those who are willing, they watch the basketballs, but still we have good I think a number of spectators on the other sports as well.
When it comes to spectators, sir, Professor, besides football, rugby, cricket, rugby, what are the next sports that you know there will always be a crowd?
I think for women the netball is there, and of course hockey is also there, and those are the areas with respect to women. And for the men, of course, the rugby is the main, and other sports also they equally watch, I think.
Well, over the weekend, also a lot of people talking about the rowing competition, and rowing has been happening also, and it's also picking up a lot of because a lot of the projects now are concentrated on waterways that now people are figuring we could probably row in this area, which is Professor, are there certain precautions that are taken by the university? Because as much as we won't like to think of it, but the prevalence of drugs enhancing, is that also a concern now in the university level?
At university games, still it has never come to a story, because one important thing that the university sports are doing by well-educated crowd. The second, of course, it has not come to a professional level I mean, in comparison to the world sports, does not come to such level. So therefore competition is not the main issue. Now I think at university level the most important thing is the participation. So still the Sri Lankan university level is not equal to say for example Olympic or the other the Asian Games up to that level. So therefore I don't think the universities are facing this problem still. But gradually we also might face.
Well, you mentioned about the participation. How good is the participation now? Because thankfully it's been 3 years since the end, 3 years, 4 years since the end of the war. Do we have more participants now from the north, northeast coming to the Sri Lankan University Games?
Yeah, of course. For example, today there was football game, and the Jaffna University became the champion in this year. And there were students, and the participants came from Jaffna to Moratua, and that's one of the important events because we like to get more people from north and east, and better to have hopefully next year next session of the slug will be in Jaffna, something like that. So we want to get more participation from regional areas, and yeah.
From your experience, Professor, are there certain sports that certain regions of the country are really good at? Like I remember back home in the Philippines, there are certain universities that are very good when it comes to volleyball, certain universities that are impenetrable when it comes to football. Do we have is there a certain expertise now when it comes, like Colombo University are good at this sport, while Candians are good at this sport? If you wouldn't mind divulging on this.
Of course, the last slug, we were the triple champion, the University of Colombo, and the cricket, when it comes to cricket, the University of Colombo remained the number one always, and of course the football is the Jaffna, and some other events, rowing also, University of Colombo or Moratua. Sometimes the Moratua winning, sometimes Colombo winning, and some other events also we can relate to the local, but still I think it is going among the University of Colombo, Jaffna, Moratua, and Jawadhanapura. So these are the universities playing well in these all 36 sports.
Well, is there a matter of say lack of support that frustrates you when it comes, because like what you mentioned, most of the Sri Jawadhanapura University, our universities are in Colombo, in Kandy, they're well supported. Do you sometimes feel like a certain team from a certain university could have done better if they were given proper funding? Sometimes even equipment could be a problem. And what do you do when you get to that point, like, I think this is a good team, but they just need the support?
Sure, sure, that's also there. And the main problem arising in the Sri Lanka sports, the university sports, is the training. The training period, because time to time we have lectures and the academic activities,
because that is the top priority.
Some other even we have Kavita program, the dancing, singing program also introduced by the ministry, and there are a lot of programs going on. So the student, I think they don't have special time to allocate to practice that. But the gradually I can see the level of sports in universities gradually increasing. Definitely in future we will be able to produce one or two professional sportsmen from universities. That is the most important thing. I think the countries like United States or UK or the Japan, the most of the sportsmen going to universities, and then university sports sometimes becoming to Olympic sports.
And so professional athletes.
I can remember when I was in Japan, at the convocation, they give special awards for the Olympic representatives. So that's what we want to see in University of Colombo or Sri Lankan universities, to come up to the professional level.
But as of now, with three more days into the event that happens every 3 years, what is your team already on the drawing board as to what to take place in the next one, the 9th one, the one that's coming in 3 years time?
3 years time.
Are you now slowly getting to that, like, okay, we need to do this. This is the sport that we need to concentrate on.
Definitely. We are preparing the annual budget because we know that everywhere the price is going up and the people are more and more, the university students getting number increase, so that gradually we are focusing on towards this sports event. And top of that, I think the marketing is more important this event. I think I should thank this the MTV. Of course, even evening sports news, you take this slug as a good the program. So we have to market this university sports meet every year. And the second important thing, the improvement of quality, as we discussed, that the infrastructure facilities and more funds and more time to play them. And one of the important things is awareness among the university students. There are two sides of that. One is we want to make future leaders. The sports is on one of the extracurricular activities. There are lots of extracurricular activities in universities. So in Sri Lankan university students are not much exploiting these extracurricular events. So one of the important things the students should understand through the sports, through these other extracurricular activities, they can go to the world with better skills, particularly soft skills. Those who have done sports at schools and universities, they are the leaders of the world, rather than just only getting the degree certificate. For example, we know in the University of Colombo, even medical students playing very well, they are doing very nicely, even management students, science, all because of the opportunities available. So SLUG provide a big opportunity for students coming to universities and going into professional as well as develop their skills. This skill development part is one of the important things.
That's true. I think also many things are learned, sense of values learned when playing sport. Very interesting that the acronym for the Sri Lanka University Games is SLUG. Yeah, boxing?
Yeah, we have. Earlier we had, but now.
Well, are you allowed to tell us, or by the end of by the 12th of on Sunday, will we know the next venue, or that is kept until, say, next year, next venue for the next SLUG?
Yeah, the next SLUG will be in 2016, hopefully in Jaffna. So the earlier also there was Jaffna and the other universities as well. Anyway, it's a very important event and we have to popularize.
Well, you mentioned, sir, Professor, about the participation of the athletes, the university athletes. Now let me ask you about the university public in general, because we've been heavily criticized that unless it's cricket, we are not there for the team. There was also a time before that even if it was for cricket, we are not with the team. We're like the first one to leave the venue, the first one to throw in the towel. It's not as passionate as the other countries, or for some even teams like the Fanatics. I'm not saying we should be fanatics, but the support, has it grown this time, like the sense of school pride, like I'm just gonna be there because I'm gonna help, I'm gonna cheer this person on. Is that getting better now, or are you still telling your student, you need to come? This is our university. These are your classmates, your college mates. Is it getting better?
Yeah, it's getting better. I think unlike the earlier, now we have good media as well as the students are watching, and there are lots of students now think they want to at least cheer their friends, and they go to